All right, welcome back to the Almost Monthly podcast here. Excited to have our special guest today from our friends at Community Inclusion, Mr. Eric Bostelman. Did I get it?
Yes, that's close enough.
What? What is the origin of Bostelman?
I believe it's German.
You believe it's
Yes.
German. That's as far back as you're going to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can get you more information if you want. My father-in-law has done a lot of the going back into Germany and looking up the family tree. So,
But he didn't pass that on to you?
No.
Or you're not as interested?
I'm not as interested at this point.
Fair enough. You grew up in Hamler, Ohio, population 600. Is that right?
Correct.
How was that childhood like in Hamler, Ohio?
So I grew up in the country outside of Hamler or whatever. So it was great, small town where everybody knows everybody. I liked it.
You liked it. And you said it's home of the Hamler Summerfest. I assume that this is a huge deal in a place like Hamler.
It's not as big as it used to be, but Polka Fest used to be the huge thing, especially in Henry County. Actually, Hamler's is considered the granddaddy of them all. Started in 1969, so same year I was born was year one. So the funny story about that is I was born, and the next day my dad went uptown to Hamler Summerfest passing out cigars. So
Excellent. And you currently live in the big city.
Of Deshler, Ohio. Known as the Corn City.
Population 1,500. You doubled from your upbringing. Talk about Deshler.
It's
Also a Henry County village as well, right?
Yes. So ironically, Deshler, Hamler, they're consolidated school districts. So Patrick Henry. So small towns of Hamler, Deshler, Malinta, Ellery, Grelton all go in to make up Patrick Henry schools. But Deshler is known as the Corn City, crossroads of the B&O. So the big story always in Deshler is if you come there, don't get caught by the trains, because there's lots of trains go through Deshler.
So in reading about that, I think they said there's like 50 to 70 trains a day. Is that right?
Yeah, and so if you're familiar with the area, North Baltimore now has the CSX hub.
Right.
And so there is constantly train traffic whipping through.
And I mean, in a place that small, that's got to be fairly loud and disruptive.
Yeah, and they actually have a park where there's lots of train enthusiasts. And so they have a little park, campground, if you will, and people come and camp out overnight to watch trains and look for certain engines or things like that. So there's a train park that come to watch trains.
And Deshler, if I recall from, I used to work at the Courier in Findlay, and one of my newsroom colleagues was from Deshler. They have, there's a corn festival or a corn something in the summer, right?
They used to. That's not happening
anymore.
No,
it's not happening.
But they used to have a 3-day kind of festival there.
Yeah, not anymore.
Not anymore.
So from Hamler, you go to BGSU.
Correct.
And what were your aspirations there as a young college student?
So I went to Bowling Green, and my degree is in education, but within that is the sport management department. So my degree is actually in sport management within the College of Education at BGSU. So, just have always been interested and love sports, wanted to be involved in it somehow, some way, and so that's how I ended up there.
Did you play sports in high school?
Yes.
I assume. What did you play?
So I was a three-sport athlete. So since our small school, we didn't have a lot of other offerings that some bigger schools have, but we had the main one. So I played football, basketball, baseball.
Gotcha. And what was your favorite out of those?
Favorite or best, Dad? I really loved basketball.
Yeah,
I really loved basketball.
Okay, so the degree in sport management, your goal was what? To become an agent?
Originally, so it's, things always change, and ironically, it's how you end up sometimes in careers you didn't plan for.
Right.
But I just always envisioned myself really as a high school athletic director, potentially. But the path led me into the world of Special Olympics, ironically. Being there, we had to do an intern to graduate. At the time, I was married, so I had a year of school left and married. And so just being newly married, I didn't necessarily want to do an intern that took me out of town.
Sure.
I had a professor that served on the Wood County Board of DD.
Nice.
And she was also one of my professors who, at that time, was called Handicapped Clientele. Now, since changed to the more politically appropriate term. But so she was heavily involved with Special Olympics, ran a Saturday program for Special Olympics athletes. And so she actually donated money to the Wood County program to sponsor an intern. And so she's like, hey, this intern's just opening. Have you ever thought about Special Olympics? I'm like, no, but it's going to pay, and it's 5 minutes from where I was living. I can do anything for 4 months.
Yeah.
And so I was fortunate to get in with the Special Olympics program there. And lo and behold, I've never really left that type of field.
What did the internship have you doing?
So, so there I did coach various sports, but my big thing there was a fundraiser. So a lot of people may not be familiar with Special Olympics. Most programs are, maybe their staff are paid for, but most things they're nonprofit and it's funded through donations. So even here at Lucas County, so the board pays staff salary, but everything we do as far as registrations and uniforms, referees, field rentals, those things are traveling are paid through by donations. And so we have to do fundraising. And so at Wood County, I was in charge of a 5K fundraiser. So that was my main program, but I was involved in all facets of the program, including coaching sports.
Gotcha. Okay, so you wrap up the internship, you graduate, and then?
So right out of high school, or right out from BGSU, I actually spent a year and a half as a night manager with what's called Bennett Enterprises. They owned was then the Holiday Inn French Quarter, the Holiday Inn I-75, the Hampton Inn in Maumee. So I was just a night manager there for a year. Again, I didn't want to relocate, so there wasn't the best of job markets at the time. So I did that for a year and a half. And then from there, my first real job, I would say, was at that time, it's called the Ruth Ide Community Health Center, which now they've merged and is Unison Behavioral Health.
Okay.
And so I took a position with them as what we called a community integration specialist, working with people who had severe and persistent mental illness. And we just really worked with people to provide social, leisure, recreational, volunteer opportunities in the community, both in a group setting, and we also had, I guess, my own little caseload where I worked with 10 individuals one-on-one, just getting them used to doing things in the community, getting them out, just trying to prevent them from being just so socially isolated. So that was my first real job. Did that for about 3.5 years, and then ironically ended back at Wood County just because the person I knew there was leaving. And I had a great experience there and was fortunate then to head back to Wood County.
And at Wood County, you spent, 20-ish years, right?
Yeah, just a little over 20 years there. I started out there as a volunteer coordinator. So at that point, BGSU had heavily involvement with BGSU students going into education where they were required to do X amount of service hours. So we easily had 600-700 volunteers a year, primarily BGSU students. And so that was a full-time job, just working with them on appropriate placements within the board. But so I did that for about 8 years. Then I transferred over into a what they call a HAD Spec 1 job, working in a adult day hab program. I was there for probably 6 or 7, right around there. I'm not sure how the dates are adding up here as far as but then I worked about 3 years, what they called a program specialist. It was in the employment field. Area in the DD, just kind of a following up with employers and our individuals, just making sure that their work experiences were going well, handle any issues that could come up within that. And in my last 5 years there, I transferred over to work with Special Olympics before coming up to Lucas County's Special Olympics program.
Gotcha. And Wood County is the Wildcats, right?
Yes, they are.
And after 2+ decades, what drew you, obviously, aside from the awesomeness of Lucas County and the Lightning and the Board of DD in Lucas County, but what drew you to move up here?
Various reasons. The main thing, I knew Kelly Watson, and at that time Lisa Martin, and I really enjoyed getting to know them through my through a job at Wood County. I knew of an opening here, and I just right time, right place, right environment, and I just was drawn here, primarily for that. But also, as a coach, get to know the athletes from every county around the area. So I've always had a positive interaction and I guess relationship with Lucas County. So it's kind of an easy jump.
I would say, particularly for neighboring counties around us, and particularly Special Olympics, there's got to be a special relationship between all the surrounding counties, athletes, and employees, and because your paths cross.
Oh yeah,
year round,
all
right?
the time. When we visit neighboring counties, our athletes are high-fiving, hugging other athletes. When I see athletes from other, same thing. You just know them now over the years. You see the same athletes a lot of times for every sport, every season, and you do build a relationship with neighboring counties' athletes as well as their staff, which is really a really cool thing. So obviously, when we compete, people want to win, but sometimes that's secondary versus the social aspect of what we do.
Absolutely. So in those, almost 30 years now, what has been, while you've taken some overlaps in other places, sounds like really Special Olympics has been your main bread and butter. What has been the biggest change or evolution of that program on a local and regional level or state level, and the athletes during that time?
I guess the state a lot of times kind of has certain, I'm gonna say, agendas that they like to push. The latest thing had been a push for unified sports, which is where volunteers actually participate with athletes on a team together. So competing in unified basketball, it's 3 Special Olympics athletes, 2 volunteers. So that's unified. So they're just some of the push to be, I'm saying, more inclusive, but more community involvement instead of just Special Olympics athletes competing by themselves, but to, I guess, involve more of the volunteer base.
Integrate.
Integrate. So that's been a big thing. The state has changed a lot of their staff and direction over the years, but I just think that's a big push, just more of those types of things, and trying to branch out different sports. I don't know, we're branching out hopefully into cornhole, pickleball, which is a popular thing. So as popularity of sports come and go, Special Olympics tries to, I guess, update what their listings of sports are. So gymnastics used to be a pretty popular one, but just it's lower interest now, and so that could be going by the wayside. But then they're looking, maybe we're going to add pickleball or cornhole, and also sports that are more open to everyone of all abilities.
Sure.
So cornhole can be pretty inclusive of ability-wise. So where basketball, Special Olympics, so they don't have wheelchair basketball. So just trying to open up more sports and avenues for everyone to participate.
Goes without saying, of course, you have to really love what you're doing, because there's a lot of before 8:30 and after 4:30 and after Friday and Saturday and Sunday hours. So you have to really love what you're doing.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for our athletes, I wouldn't be doing what I mean, obviously, I love sports, but our athletes, they're great. And some of them, it's not even whether they win or lose. It's just, you build those friendships, those bonds, and that's what brings you back all the time, just seeing them enjoy what they're doing and growing every day, just whether it's their social skills, their confidence, self-esteem, just all those things grow, just being a part of a team, having a group that they know they fit in with, get along with, enjoy being around. And that's what brings me back to that.
Is there one or two athletes that come to mind as you're describing that, like that you can visually see?
Oh yeah,
as you're describing.
Yeah, all the time. And just like anything else, there's athletes too that, they are going to talk nonstop for an hour and a half, or whatever. But there's other athletes you just like everyday natural words you just naturally click with. Maybe share some of the same experiences, same love for a certain sport. They're for sure athletes that come to mind right off the bat.
Name one. That's where I was going with that.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'm not going to let you off easy. I'm going to make you name one.
So James Wimmers, pretty athletic athlete of ours, involved in, our main ones, softball and basketball, but he's very athletic, very knowledgeable, though, as a sports. He could be a coach. He just is very knowledgeable. When he gets in the vehicle, hey, what place is that person doing? Or we'll talk over, statistics of a certain sport. You just make those natural connections, and you just enjoy their personality. You get to, and know where his dad works, and you just build those. But he's the first and foremost that just comes to mind for me.
Love that. Any famous athletes or celebrities you've gotten to meet through Special Olympics?
Ooh. Not through Special. I don't think I've ever met any famous.
Like non-Columbus or any of the state games or...
I've met the governor a couple times, where certain times at state games, they'll have various political people come in and help pass out awards and things like that. So, but that's probably it. Governor DeWine a couple times.
But you jumped at that question before I added Special Olympics. So are there famous celebrities or athletes that you've met?
So, and this is dating myself. In high school, I went to a basketball camp, and one of the was a one-on-one competition, and so I made the finals. It was at Ohio University, and one of the athletes there, his name was Sean Kemp.
Oh my gosh!
And
okay.
Sean Kemp went on to, I'm not sure he won the slam dunk contest at the NBA All-Star game, but he was an All-Star, whatever. So I played against him one-on-one.
You played against the Rain Man one-on-one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was interesting. But
I mean, that's like peak '90s NBA highlight reel.
Yeah.
With Sean Kemp. I think when he wasn't quite as high flying, I think he was on the Cavaliers for a minute, wasn't he?
I think so. I know when he first went in the league, he was with Seattle Supersonics.
Those were some fun teams. Yeah. All right. Let's see here. You listed your the sports you played. What are your favorite sports to watch and or participate?
As far as with Special Olympics or just personally?
Just you as a person.
Oh, personally. I guess as I've aged, some of those have changed. I really enjoy golf. I'm not very good. I'm not sure why I like it. I pay a lot of money just to be frustrated a lot.
Right.
But just trying to, I guess, maintain a healthy lifestyle. I was never a runner. I hated running, but started running just really as a way to maintain fit. But I then started swimming and have done triathlons. So, I mean, I like all aspects of just the competition, but swimming, biking, running, I like that combination. But I really enjoy golf. Like everybody else now, it seems like I've played pickleball a few times. It seems to be growing on people.
Right.
So I do enjoy pickleball. Still getting to know all the rules. But yeah, I do enjoy that.
What are the distances of the triathlons that you've done?
So I just do the sprint distances.
Okay.
So it's a half-mile swim, a 12-mile bike, 5K run. So my goal, we'll see if I ever, is move up to the Olympic distance, which is basically just double. Mile swim,
Gotcha.
24-mile bike, 10K run.
That sounds exhausting.
Yeah, they are.
But I imagine in training you get to eat whatever you want because you're,
Yeah, no, well, that depends how serious you are.
That's true.
Or that's how you look at, are you exercising so you can eat whatever you want, or are you eating to fuel your body appropriately? But
Having trained for marathons and half marathons, definitely the prior for me, just so I can eat whatever I want and not feel guilty. Let's see here. What else did you mention? Also in your public service, you are a school board member of Patrick Henry Local Schools. Talk about your involvement in that and what you said. How many years now?
so this is starting year 21 right now.
21 years on a school board.
Yeah, so first went on is
Between golf and school
2006.
board, you must really just enjoy torturing yourself.
Yeah. So the Board of Education, so it came about, I was always familiar with it, but we had someone that had to leave the board, and I was approached by a current board member just to, hey, would be interested in this. And so at that time, when you have an open board seat, you actually can take applications. You don't have to go through the election process. It's an interview process. Sure. So my home school district, where I grew up, where I live now, I had very young kids that were going to be coming up through the system. So I was involved in a lot of other aspects with my kids, but just a great way to be involved. I just always viewed myself as somebody that's middle of the road, common sense, everyday person. And I thought that was a good fit just to bring that type of background and things to the board. So really enjoy it. It's interesting over the years how things have changed. And even every time you have a change in the governorship or whoever controls the House, how that affects public education. And different mandates when it comes to education. So it can be challenging, but I think it's very rewarding, just staying involved with kids and having a part of their education.
And I imagine in a small village, those are well-attended board meetings.
So ironically, probably the vice versa. So when we have a board meeting, we typically have administrators there, and there may be 2 or 3 outside community members.
Okay.
So unless there's a hot topic issue, something that's going on, believe it, there's just not, which is a good thing then.
Well, sure.
So usually at our boarding, if there's a crowd, there's something going on.
Bad news bears, right.
I mean, it could be good or bad, but usually if there's a crowd, something has caused that.
So what's a recent, in the past whatever years, that drew a crowd? That was a hot button topic in Patrick Henry.
It has been years ago. Just mostly it comes to when you have administration, people either love your administrator, your head superintendent, or not. And I would never want to be a superintendent, so kudos to Michelle Meyer. It's just, you're never going to make everybody happy,
right.
And you have to make some very difficult decisions. And it doesn't take much in a small community. You make a decision that people aren't in favor with. It stirs up some emotions sometimes. But biggest things that we do is, and fortunately we haven't had to go ask for some new monies. Whenever you have to ask for new money, people always scrutinize things very closely. What are your expenditures? People always have their opinion on where you should spend money. So whenever that comes up, people tend to be more involved.
And you talked about your children being in school where you served on the school board. You said your son, Bryce, lives in beautiful Mount Vernon, Ohio.
Yes.
And what does he do there?
Yeah, so Bryce, who was just married this last October.
Awesome.
So his wife, Bailey. My son went to Ohio Northern University, so his degree is in mechanical engineering. So he does work as a process engineer for a company in Mount Vernon, and his wife, Bailey, is a dentist. So, they're down in Mount Vernon. So, beautiful country down there. Yeah. So heads up, if you're going down there, watch out for the deer. They are everywhere. Yeah, and then I have a daughter, Jessica, who attended Miami of Ohio University, and she's currently an intervention teacher in Hamilton City Schools, which is just northwest of Cincinnati.
Gotcha. Okay, awesome. What else did you tell us? You will never pass up ice cream, you said.
Never, ever. That's surely one of my weaknesses. I love ice cream, and I always have room for ice cream.
Is there a go-to flavor that you? I mean, obviously, all ice cream is lovely, but
so ironic. So there is a place in BG in Defiance. It's called Eric's Ice Cream.
Oh my!
So I always think they should give me a discount whenever I go there. But no, I always get the caramel cheesecake, avalanche flurry, whatever they're called there.
Oh my God! Is there like graham cracker crust? I'm imagining.
Yeah, it's super good.
Eric's Ice Cream. Okay. Any other local ice cream places?
BG's got the Sunday Station.
Sunday Station. Yep. I was just going to say that.
The one in Anthony are White House Generals.
Yeah.
General ice cream. So kudos to them. I love their ice cream. I'm not sure if I've had bad ice cream. So.
And your other addiction is peanut butter.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So.
But I noticed you specifically said Jif in your.
Jif Peanut for sure. I will eat other peanut butter if I have to, but no, Jif is the go-to. Yes, I love peanut butter for sure.
You also mentioned enjoying family vacations. Is there a favorite trip that comes to mind if I said a favorite that you've taken with family?
Oh, so we've been out there twice. We've been to Sedona. We've been Mexico, Hawaii, Dominican, Lados, but Sedona, if you've never been to Sedona, is just probably one of the most beautiful places.
This is outside Phoenix, right?
Yes, yes, north of Phoenix and Scottsdale. So just unbelievable.
Oh, the rocks, the sunshine.
Yeah, yes. And so this year, just an extension of that, we're going to go to Zion and Bryce. So my son is Bryce. So we always said we need to go to Bryce Canyon. So that's where we're headed to this summer.
Love that. Eric, if you can go back in time and you were visiting your 20-year-old self at BGSU, what advice would you give that person?
Wow. Not sure if I like that question, Nabil. I don't live in the past, and I can't change the past. Just be confident.
I mean, I like that answer by itself, first of all, but go on.
But just be confident in yourself and your abilities. Go for life is short. You always hear that, but don't second guess yourself. Go for what you want to go for, and if things work out, you went for it. You just don't want to go through life with regrets. Think, man, I wish I would have. That can be frustrating looking back. I wish, that
Absolutely.
type of stuff. But the life dictates how your life goes a lot of times. But I would just say go back there is like, see it, go for it, give yourself a chance. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, but at least you tried.
So is this just solid evergreen advice, or did something happen that you're
No, I
now
just think
looking
over
back?
life, you just, maybe you hesitate here or there. It's like maybe a little bit of self-doubt. Maybe I should have went for that position or that, just different things like that. So, I mean, I love what I do, but I also think, say I'm heavily involved in our high school. I work at our chain gang on Friday nights, scores table for our high school boys and girls basketballs when my schedule allows. So I just love being with youth, and I do still go back when I went for that. It's like being an athletic director, and that's, maybe at one point, maybe that's, I think, was my passion at that point, but it is what it is, and I love what I do right now. So I'm not second guessing that, but yeah, go for go for it.
Love that. For those that might not be as familiar, describe what a chain gang person.
So the guys on the
two
side,
persons do.
So it's actually a 4-person crew a lot of times. So chain gang is the people on the sidelines football games that hold the first down markers. So.
And on Friday nights in a place like Deshler, it could be a well-liked person or a...
Yes. Yeah. So, yeah, you can maneuver the chains a little bit if it's... Not that we do that.
That's how the Patriots are so successful
it's
every
always
season.
First down.
Huh?
It's always the first PH.
What smell makes you irrationally happy?
Rational happy. Again, this is probably now that I'm older. A coffee in the morning.
Yeah, that would be my answer.
I love the smell of freshly brewed coffee. Yeah, that's probably my go-to. But pizza, I love the smell of pizza, that type of stuff. And I don't know, I love the smell of freshly mown grass.
Even more so if you're the one that mowed it, right?
Yes,
Like there's an even more
Gotta be straight,
bigger
just
job
right.
satisfaction.
Got to be straight.
We were talking earlier, just so anybody that sees you gets alarmed, the injury that is visible here is from said yard work,
Yard
right?
work, yeah, at my parents' house. Yeah, I'm not sure what. I think I just couldn't see and walked into a branch.
So you said they're in the woods. How big is this property that you're helping me?
Oh man, so it's weird setup. So their actual property is probably less than an acre.
Okay.
But they live in a woods which is owned by somebody else, but they've lived there for nearly 60 years, and the guy who owns the woods just says, do what you want to do with it. So we basically maintain the woods. So
Gotcha. And also not far from you in Henry County there, right?
right. Yeah. They live 10 minutes away from where I live.
And Steve Tucker, our finance director, another Henry County.
Liberty Center, I believe.
Liberty Center, that's right.
I don't know if he's Tigers, yeah. So that's the arch rival,
Right.
arch nemesis of Patrick Henry is Liberty Center.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, having
Friendly rivalry.
between times at the Courier and at the Blade, like those Friday night Liberty Center Patrick Henry games were a lot of fun to broadcast about. What else was I going to ask you? So take this, whichever portion of your job you want to describe, but what is one thing about your job that you wish more people would understand?
Sometimes I think we're a psychologist, social worker. We're about sports and competition, but like I say, you get to know athletes and they share information. And a lot of times you're their cheerleader, and encouraging them to, yes, sports is important, but a job is more important, or personal relationships. I wish I had a significant other or somebody outside, a spouse or something like that, but just they bring a lot of their personal things to you, and we get to know them. They trust us, and we do a lot more of that than I think people realize, just because we see them 2 or 3 times a week in an atmosphere that's relaxed, and we just build those relationships. And so you just a lot of times are their support person. So it's not we're just going up, you practice for an hour, play a game, and go home. There's a lot of other things that are involved in working with our individuals, and a lot of times they just have a lot of challenges coming their way a lot of times, and sometimes we're the ones that can help them get over those challenges a lot of times.
Well, and particularly that you're not just seeing a basketball player and basketball season's over, you don't see them for another year. Like, they're all evolving to the next season of sports, so you're really seeing them.
Yeah, a lot of our
3
athletes,
times a week, year round.
A lot of our athletes are year round.
Yeah.
We had some athletes are just one particular sport or so, but many of our athletes participate in multiple sports throughout the year.
And I also imagine there's some difficulty that not all of them are served by the board. So you might not necessarily have notes about this person or some background or SSA you can reach out to.
Yeah, for sure. So to be in Special Olympics, you do not have to be served by the board. You just have to have an intellectual disability. So we do have a lot of people that are not open cases at the board that do qualify for Special Olympics, and they do participate with us. So yeah, a lot of times you don't know what their background is and such. And so it can be challenging when it comes to some of that.
All right, sir. I think I've run out of questions, but I'm sure you have not run out of words to say. So please, if there's anything else you'd like to add.
No, I really like here at Lucas County, or enjoy my coworkers immensely, our athletes. And I would say probably one of the, people say, what's your favorite memory or thing that you've done so far? So here at Lucas County, so we talk about unified sports, but I've just been fortunate enough to go it's NERSA, so it's involved with UT. So we do a lot of our unified stuff with the University of Toledo. NERSA is the National Intramural Organization, and so partnering with them, we've been able to take teams to University of Maryland, Madison at the University of Wisconsin, both those schools for NERSA basketball competitions, as well as a couple years ago, I went to Oklahoma State University for unified flag football. Those experiences, even though I enjoyed them, I think I just will remember those the most, just because a lot of our athletes, some of them get to travel, but a lot of our athletes never have the opportunity to do much traveling. And so be able to take people out of state on their first plane ride, to stay in a hotel in a different city, drive through Chicago, is once in a lifetime opportunities for some of our athletes, and just being able to be a part of that with them and experience it with them is something I think I'll always take away as one of my greatest memories as far as working with Special Olympics.
Just to expand on the NERSA thing, so this is all intramural sports across the country at university levels, and you're just in the division that is unified.
NERSA at their basketball coming up. So hopefully we are taking athletes again back to Madison, Wisconsin. So last year our team was the national champions. So we're going back there again this year, but it is teams across the country. So University of Michigan's there, Purdue. I mean, anybody can go there. Texas Tech is there this year again. University of Florida. Yeah, so it's a collegiate intramural, and so we're competing against universities from all over the place.
Yeah. But I mean, like, it's multiple sports and I guess what I'm trying to say is it's not just your unified teams with folks with disabilities. There are other sports.
So NERSA sponsored. I mean, they have. I know they do basketball, flag football, and that they do other sports as well. And then they have different divisions, even with basketball, female, male, club.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's what you were getting at.
Yeah, I was. Just it's a huge event. It is not just...
There'll probably be 80, 90 teams.
Yeah.
In Madison, Wisconsin, here in a couple weeks.
So to win a national championship is a legit undertaking to survive and advance.
So in a lot of places you have regional NERSA events, and you have to win your regional to be able to go to nationals.
Right.
There's other ways. So ours, unfortunately, we haven't had a regional event here the last couple of years, so we just been able to go by saying we want to go, and they allow us to go. But there are other regions in the United States where you have to win your region to earn your way to nationals.
Gotcha. Well, sir, I thank you kindly for your time. Wood County was lucky to have you, but we're luckier to have snagged you. And Patrick Henry is also lucky to have you serving their community as well. So I appreciate your time. And continued success down the road.
Great. Thanks, Nabil. Appreciate
you.
you having me.